Da 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 da. Hi. It's been a while. And it looks like it's good. It's not all digitalized. Whatever happened last time. I think we're okay now. I think we're actually in a there was a sound. Hello. I'm John Johnson and you're not. We're here talking about an upcoming picture that I'm working on for many years now. We're on our second year and it's probably going to be like another 3 to 4 years before I actually get to shoot this thing. Well, at least at first guess. House of Horrors, which is a monster, like classic monster mashup. Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, so on and so forth. But I didn't want all the monsters to feel like just like cameoed in. So I wanted to like pay a lot of attention to each one and really detail each one. Excuse me. And so I going into detail and doing a study on each monster, and then after that we'll do versus films and then mashups, which are 3 and more. The first monster we did was Frankenstein's monster, then we did Creature from the Black Lagoon, then we did Hyde, and now we are on the Wolfman. This is our second. This is 102, so this is our second encounter. We're running it again because YouTube and Google had a falling out. There was a big old breakup over whether 30-something, the TV show, was any good. It caused a lot of strife. YouTube was all about northern exposure, and Google was all about, like, well, you know, the show, Google and stuff. And so it caused all kinds of problems. And so now we're using the old program, which we're able to do, but we can't post the video early. We have to post it as soon as it happens, so we can't. Blah. So anyways, it looks like it's all up and working and I can run a full show. We're talking about 3 movies today, and I'm answering questions. The 3 movies are Werewolf of London, the original, Curse of the Wolfman, or Curse of the Werewolf, and Wolfman 2010. Now, we're not dealing with the wolves, like people who turn into full wolves, and we're not dealing with hybrids, which are more werewolf snout. We're dealing with the Wolfman, which is basically furry, beefy, and more full of bloodlust versus animal instinct. And so that's kind of what we're focused on. My lovely assistant, Alyssa, is hiding over here. Say hi.
Hello.
And she is going to be reading your questions as I answer them in hopefully the best detail that I can. We also would like to take this moment to say happy birthday, Stephen Haar. He's been with us for quite almost this whole show.
Happy birthday!
And he's been a big help. Him and Kenneth Tabor have been kind of champions of the show. And so we want to say happy birthday to Stephen, who's down under, and making the show better. That's essentially what you do. Sponsored.
I wish.
Mm-hmm. The what?
Where did that come from?
There's darkness here. Do you see the darkness? And I wasn't talking about people of color. Get your mind. I mean, come on. That jokes are so 1994. When was Rodney King? 1990. 91? When was Rodney King?
I'm not sure.
We're off topic. The Wolfman. All right, so let's take a.
Where is that coming?
That might be people commenting. Like my Facebook's open. That could be that.
Oh, maybe.
So all right, so that's the comments coming
musical.
in. It is. It's very nice.
Ooh.
So okay, let's start with our first question.
Okay, well, the first question is a comment on you saying the next Werewolf Live show on the 19th at 9 p.m. Rhonda Hickens said, he's too busy scratching his ass, LOL.
Oh, the Wolfman? Yes, or me. I have a hairy ass as well. It's literally, I take off my clothes, run through the woods, people think they see Sasquatch. It's a scary thing that I'm working on. But thank you, Rhonda. I hope you're chiming in or getting to watch this.
Okay, then we go to a question from birthday boy Stephen Haar.
Happy birthday.
Woo! What is the origin of the werewolf/wolfman?
That's a really confusing one because I can't find an actual origin. Same thing with vampires, actually. It's just part of like so many different countries' mythology that there's hard to find like where it all came from. I did talk about I'll be doing a little research into Gavon, the werewolf, who's a historical figure that was thought to be a werewolf. So we will be doing a little bit of research into him. But that's the earliest thing I can find other than just the lore. And I'll get into that when I talk about the curse of the werewolf, because there's definitely a subject matter on Christianity that I wanted to talk about. I think the werewolf lore, it goes through all cultures and all religions. But I think there's actually something to Christianity that I've been doing some research on because it's really been interesting to me that I'll tap on when I get to that movie, because that movie really brings up some questions on the religious part of it. All right, so we're going to go to the first movie, which I'll talk about, which is The Werewolf of London. This one, it was an okay movie. I mean, it was really cool for the time. It actually predates the Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr., by like almost 10 years. And it's Universal, but for some reason they did not consider that one of their franchise monsters. They went with the 1941 Lon Chaney Wolfman because he's the one in all the, not the Wolfman sequels, but I mean, it's kind of a sequel. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein. Those are the kind of sequels to the Wolfman, and that Wolfman went on, but Werewolf of London was much older. But didn't, and the makeup design was a lot different as well. This one was a weird one where they kind of got into like the science aspect of it, and there was it was you get bit by a wolf, you become one. But this had the lore that if as a werewolf, if you did not kill another person, you would stay a werewolf forever. But if you killed another person, you would turn back into being human again. And the only fix for it was this. It wasn't wolf's vein, but it was a kind of a flower. And if you ate the flower or injected it inside of you, you wouldn't turn into the wolf that night. And it's kind of an ongoing story between a scientist who's studying that flower, and he gets turned by another wolf who's after the flower, and the two of them kind of battling each other and so on. And then eventually the werewolf goes running all through London. It was definitely a cool movie, and it's worth checking out. But it's interesting that they chose the Lon Chaney Jr. version to continue and build off of versus the Werewolf of London. Now, I believe there is a sequel on my list called the She-Wolf of London, which I don't know if it's a sequel or not, but it's in the Criteria collection of Universal, so I'm thinking that it is, but I've actually never seen the film. So I'm thinking that it's a sequel to that franchise. But we'll see. I'm not entirely sure. I'm excited to see it though, especially female. Like I've said on the show before, there's nothing hotter and scarier than a female werewolf. Maybe the Howling or the Howling 4, I think might have did it to me. No, it was Howling 2. Oh my God, looked so hot but so painful. If you're not a werewolf, actually, if you're a werewolf, they were pretty rough on each other. All right, next question.
Stephen Haar.
Happy birthday.
Woo! Thus far, what is your favorite Wolfman lore?
The lore, the one I like the most so far was actually it's not a Wolfman, it's Werewolf, which was the TV series Werewolf from 1988. That was, you had a pentagram on your hand and it would bleed right before you would turn. And if you were a good person, you were a good wolf. And if you were a bad person, you were a bad wolf. And it was a bloodline. Like you had to kill all the werewolves in your bloodline to become human again. And the bloodline ended up getting like really deep. Like there was like a knight, like who's been alive for like 400 years, played by Brian Thompson, who eventually he had to battle, which I don't think the show ever finished. So I don't think that ever happened. Maybe I should make that one day, if Fox will ever let it go. You never know. But I love that show a whole lot. It was kind of a ripoff of the Incredible Hulk, but it was great for what it was. And I like that. And obviously the Wolfman, the Wolfman lore is the one that if you ever got turned into a werewolf, that you hope isn't the one, because you'll literally just kill anyone or anything around you. You're just kind of like this, just a hellhound. So I hope it's not that one. But yeah. So I would say werewolf is my favorite one, just because if I've always fantasized about, if you having the wolf abilities, where you go with that, and what powers it would give you, and the immortality of werewolf. However, the Wolfman lore is just fucking awful. Like it's I mean, Hyde is better, I think, than the Wolfman so far, as because Hyde may let people live as long as he gets what he wants. Wolfman just kills everything. Just super wild. Next question.
Okay, this is a lengthy one from Stephen Har. No doubt the Wolfman lore has been slightly altered from story to story. Are there any changes that alter itself out, be rendered moot, i.e., silver bullets are known to kill him and full moons are known to change him? Has there been any adaptations that had him survive silver and change during the showing of any moon that has rendered the lore moot? And I guess what I'm really trying to say is, has there been any lore from one movie that contradicts another?
Oh, all the time. Silver bullets usually work. That's always kind of been the thing. Silver put into the heart will kill a werewolf or Wolfman. Well, actually, Wolfman, you can beat him with a silver cane and it'll kill him. And then there's a lot of werewolf movies where it doesn't have to be silver. You can just shoot it and it would die. The biggest one that, oh, excuse me, that's life. But the biggest one that I've noticed is the Wolfsbane, because that one, there is no real set lore to it, where like everybody like the most common things is full moon changes you into a wolf, which they kind of expand into like a 3-day span. So like there's the full moon is like a 3-day thing, versus just a 1-day, which it used to be. So there's that, and then the other concept is the wolf's vein. Sometimes it grows as an alert, a warning that there's a werewolf around. Sometimes it works as like garlic and like makes a werewolf go away. And then sometimes it just it empowers them, like they eat it and it gives them an ability. So because there's no real set lore on wolf's vein, it's constantly changing and being used differently. I would say that one would be the biggest change overall. And then there's obviously certain movies where the Wolfman or werewolf can change on their own, out of emotion. I'm a Teenage Werewolf, which we'll eventually get into with Michael Landon. He changed constantly. It would just get him, and he would be doing anything in the middle of the day, and he would change. But that was going more the science route versus the supernatural route. We'll get more into that one. I think that's
puberty too.
That was what they were implying. Like the whole movie was about puberty. Like, why are you angry for no reason? Yeah, and he was a dick. like Michael Landon. Like, I'm a Teenage Werewolf. I didn't feel sorry for that motherfucker at all. He was just an asshole. We're getting ahead of ourselves. That's the next show. But yeah, oh man, what a horrible little shit he was. Okay, so yeah, I guess that basically answers that question as best I can.
Okay, Stephen Har would like to know.
Happy birthday.
Yes. How come Royce hasn't been around in your videos lately? What shenanigans is he up to?
Well, Royce is he's just running through lilacs. He is definitely in all kinds of shenanigans. It's just the timing of the videos. Royce comes up once a month. I work all the time, weekends, weekdays, all the time. So I designate 4 days a month, which is called my staycay. So I don't go out and spend a bunch of money. I just stay at home and watch movies and play video games and just do stuff around the house for fun, and Royce usually comes up and joins me for that. So sometimes the timing of the show comes on around that time, and so he'll come be on the show because of that. But a lot of the times he doesn't, because it just happens to be a day that he's not here, which is the way it's been kind of working out for a while. We'll probably see him again, but I'm not sure when. Because then the only time I can really do it is during a staycay, or if we're shooting something else and we just do it a live show then. But I am going to try to get a guest in on the final show of the Wolfman, because we had a guest on Frankenstein, we had a guest on Creature, we had a different guest, we had Eric on Hyde, and so I'm going to try to find somebody as a guest on the last show of the Wolfman, the 104. Well, not 104, but the what do we call it? Just the analysis. The discussion sum up final one. But yeah. All right, so let me get to the next movie, which is Curse of the Werewolf. This is the Hammer film with David Oliver. What is his name? Not David Oliver.
Oliver Reed?
Oliver Reed. From he was amazing. He was in Oliver Twist, right? Wasn't he like he was the bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he was amazing. Like, he was the best part of the movie, just like watching him. This was another Wolfman that when he turns, his bloodlust kills everything. This was an interesting one because it was really focused on Christianity, of the kind of devil wolf kind of a situation, where the boy, I believe, caught the Wolfman gene because his mother was raped by a madman, and he was born on Christmas. And I believe because he was born on Christmas and wasn't what's his face, Jesus, you become, it's a insult to God, and you become a Wolfman. I'm pretty certain that was the storyline. And so, but they got the gene to go away, and they got it taken back until he committed a sin, which was, I believe, they shot a rabbit, and he tried to kiss the wound of the rabbit, and blood got in his mouth, and it caused him to turn again. And then he started having sex with a random girl, and it made him turn. And so it was all about sin and God. And it's interesting because in doing some research, the Roman Catholic situation, I do believe that they got the lore on werewolves. I don't know if they believe in them now, but they look at it as demon possession of animal possession. And that's why the pentagram that's found on their hands is always involved, because it's a part of a Christian belief, which I did not know. I knew they believed in demon possession, but I didn't know about animal possession as well. And Curse of the Wolfman, or the werewolf, really kind of gets into that. Now, I don't know if all of what they say is true so far as their actual beliefs, but there are probably Christians out there who believe in werewolves, just like demon possession and angels and all that stuff. So that's either really funny or really scary if all that shit turns out to be real. So that means there probably could be a Wolfman out there somewhere.
Okay, another one from Stephen Hart.
Happy birthday.
Woo-hoo. If hypothetically an astronaut gets bit or scratched by a werewolf,
I know where he's
just
going.
a minor wound, gets healed quickly, and gets launched into space to orbit around the moon, will seeing the moon in all its fullness and splendor ever prevent him from returning to his human state?
That's a great idea. That's good.
Cool.
I don't have an answer to that at all, but that's a great idea, and a different concept where, I mean, you would, oh man, that's a werewolf in space movie. I guess they just have to fly away from the moon and hope for the best. But I mean, in that case, if they never come across the moon again, I don't know why my voice cracked. I got excited. That was a great question comment. I don't know. That's a great storyline idea where like you could just fly away from the moon and hope for the best, or stay by the moon, or live on the moon. Ooh, maybe become like a super wolf, like bigger.
But he would like break through his spacesuit and stuff.
Oh yeah, he couldn't breathe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless it was like a facility. But then yeah, he wouldn't be that wise unless the lore allows them to think. But most of the time, it's usually just a bad situation of clawing, and he would just float away in space. Yeah, it would be easier to kill a Wolfman. Well, again, if silver is the only thing that kills the wolf, that specific Wolfman, then he's just floating in space forever. Like,
but his suit, usually spacesuits are all. Sometimes they're silver. The old school ones.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not made of silver.
I don't know. That's a great. If they, Steven, put some money together. Let's make this movie. It's very exciting.
Okay, Stephen Har says gravy nuggets. That is all.
That would be Kenneth Tabor's description of poop from the last show, which I had never heard before.
I think that was when the first werewolf show that
went bad.
Off, yeah, that went off.
Oh, okay.
Went on after we were off air.
Yeah, it's basically that. That is all Kenneth Tabor, who's taken two things that I find utterly delicious and now have turned me against them. Gravy nugget, as in.
I think it was Steven.
No, I think it was Kenneth.
I think they were going back and forth about it.
Yeah, well, why not? It's fucking brilliant and terrifying at the same time. But yes, gravy nuggets for everyone.
Yes.
Maybe one day on the show, I will make myself some gravy nuggets and eat them. That's what I'll do. I will eat gravy nuggets on the finale of The Wolfman.
It'd be like your Johnny-O's.
It will. Kinda. I think if I got some like.
Well, like a recipe.
All right, so you guys in the comments, what kind of nuggets? Should it be like McDonald's nuggets or Wendy's nuggets and then just dipped in gravy, like a beef gravy or a turkey gravy? Or should it be, you guys decide and I will eat it for you. Be nice. Be nice. All right, so let's talk about the last movie, which I believe is The Wolfman 2010, which I know Kenneth had a lot of questions about prior that, all right, for some reason I can't.
Yeah, what the new questions are on the Kenneth.
There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, let's get into that one.